Stay. The word tore through the mansion like a gunshot. Security froze. Walker's hands went slack. The officers dragging Gloria toward the door stopped mid-step. Because the voice came from Hope. The 7-year-old who hadn't spoken in 4 years. Who the specialists said would never speak. Who was supposed to be brain-dead. Stay. Gloria. Stay. Gloria's knees buckled. Handcuffs cutting into her wrists. Her phone, the one with all the proof, shattered on the marble floor. Evidence gone. Hope's videos corrupted. Everything she'd risked destroyed. And Geraldine smiled. That smile. The one that meant she'd already won. But then Hope's mouth opened again. Struggling. Slurred from the medication still flooding her system. Fighting through 4 years of chemical imprisonment to say one more thing. Daddy, she's hurting me. Hope's eyes rolled back. The drugs pulled her under. She went limp in Walker's arms. And in that second, that impossible shattering second, Walker Howell had to choose. Believe his wife. The woman he'd married 6 months ago. The woman holding forged medical records and a lawyer on speed dial. Or believe the nanny. The black woman he'd just fired. The one the police were arresting for breaking into his home. The one everyone said was delusional. His daughter's first words in 4 years. Or the woman who shared his bed. What happened next? Let me take you back. 4 years back. To the day this nightmare started. To the moment Walker Howell learned his daughter would never be whole. And to the day Gloria Prentice walked through his door with nothing but debt, desperation, and a dead daughter's memory burning in her chest. Because what Walker didn't know, what nobody knew, was that Hope had been screaming for 4 years. And only one person had been listening. For 4 years, Hope Howell stared at nothing. Every neurologist said the same thing. Severe intellectual disability. Irreversible. Walker Howell spent $12 million. Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, specialists in Zurich who charge $50,000 per consultation. They ran brain scans, genetic tests, experimental therapies that sounded like science fiction. All of them said the same thing. Accept it. Your daughter will never speak, never learn, never be whole. But Walker couldn't accept it because Hope was all he had left after Patricia destroyed everything. What he didn't know. The answer wasn't coming from some hospital in Switzerland. It was coming from the 25-year-old black nanny he'd just hired to watch his broken daughter. The one everybody dismissed. The one nobody saw coming. Gloria Prentice was a caregiver. No medical degree, just nursing school debt she couldn't pay and a sister dying in ICU she couldn't save. But she noticed something about Hope that every expert had missed. Something in the child's eyes. Something deliberate. And one night while Walker was in Dubai closing a $1 billion deal, Gloria made a decision that would either expose the darkest conspiracy in Texas or destroy her completely. What happened next? You need to see this for yourself. The Howell estate stretched across 15 acres of Highland Park, Dallas. Old money land. The kind of address that whispered power before you even saw the gate. Georgian columns. Windows that caught the morning sun and turned it into knives of light. Gardens so perfect they looked fake. From the outside, it was a dream. A monument to American success. From the inside, it was a tomb. Silence lived in that house. Not the peaceful kind. Not the kind that comes after a good day when everyone's tired and content. This silence was thick. Heavy. Like something had died in the walls and no one had bothered to dig it out. Servants moved through the hallways without speaking. Their footsteps soft, careful, practiced. They'd learned. Mr. Howell liked things quiet. No music played. No television chattered in the background. No laughter bounced off the marble floors. Just silence. And somewhere deep in that silence, drowning in it, was a little girl who'd forgotten what her own voice sounded like. Hope's wing of the house sat on the east side. Medical. Sterile. The kind of space that smelled like hospitals and broken dreams. Her bedroom door stayed open. Always. A monitor in the corner tracked her vitals. Another camera watched for seizures. Equipment that cost more than most people's houses, all of it designed to keep one 7-year-old girl comfortable in her prison. Hope sat in her wheelchair by the window. Blank stare. Slumped shoulders. A thin line of drool on her chin that nobody bothered to wipe anymore. Her hands rested in her lap, fingers twitching occasionally. Random. Meaningless. That's what the doctors said. Just muscle spasms. Nothing conscious. Nothing that meant anything. She rocked sometimes. Forward and back. Forward and back. A rhythm with no music. Her eyes never focused on anything. Never tracked movement. Never showed recognition when her father walked into the room. The staff avoided her. Not out of cruelty. Out of something worse. Pity so deep it felt like drowning. They couldn't look at her without seeing everything she'd never be. Never do. Never become. So they didn't look. They just cleaned her room, changed her clothes, fed her soft food she couldn't choke on, and left her there. Alone. Always alone. Walker Hallwell sat in his study most evenings, staring at the same photograph. Patricia. His ex-wife. Holding baby Hope. Both of them smiling. Both of them whole. Before everything shattered. The divorce happened 3 years ago. Fast. Brutal. The kind of split that makes lawyers rich and destroys everything beautiful. Patricia's voice still echoed in his head sometimes. Sharp. Cutting. You'll never be a real father, Walker. You're married to your company. That's the only thing you'll ever love. She tried to take Hope. Claimed Walker was unfit. Too busy. Too obsessed with building his empire to notice he had a daughter. The custody battle lasted 6 months. Depositions. Testimonies. Character witnesses who said things about him that weren't lies but felt like lies because they hurt so much. Then came Hope's diagnosis. Right in the middle of the war. Right when Patricia's lawyers were preparing their final arguments. Severe intellectual disability. Congenital brain malformation. Prognosis, poor. Life expectancy, uncertain. Quality of life, minimal. Patricia's lawyer called 2 days later. My client is withdrawing her petition for custody. No explanation needed. Patricia showed up once after that. Looked at Hope in her wheelchair. Looked at Walker. Said 6 words that still cut him when he closed his eyes. I can't raise a vegetable, Walker. Then she left. Signed away her parental rights. Took her settlement and disappeared into a new life where she didn't have a broken daughter, reminding her that love doesn't always win. Walker stared at that photograph and asked himself the same questions he'd asked 1,000 times before. Did the stress cause it? Did his obsession with work, the late nights, the missed birthdays, the nannies raising Hope while he closed deals, did all of that break something in his daughter's brain? Did Patricia leaving trigger it? Did Hope's mind just give up? His mother died when Walker was 12. Cancer. He remembered what it felt like to be alone. Now Hope had no grandmother. No mother. Just a father who'd spent $12 million and couldn't buy her a single word. The specialists' names ran through his head like a prayer he couldn't stop reciting. Dr. Reginald Chun at NYU. Dr. Philippa Okonkwo at Mayo. Dr. Sven Bergstrom in Switzerland. Each one came with hope. Each one left with nothing. Gene therapy trials in Boston. $2 million. Hope wheeled into a clinic that looked like something from the future. They injected modified viruses into her spine. Waited. Watched. Measured. Nothing changed. Hyperbaric oxygen chambers in Arizona. 6 weeks. Hope sealed in a tube breathing pure oxygen under pressure. The doctors said it might stimulate brain repair. It didn't. Stem cell treatments in Tokyo. They harvested cells from Hope's own bone marrow. Processed them. Injected them into her brain through holes drilled in her skull. Walker held her hand through the whole thing. She didn't squeeze back. Brain stimulation protocols in Germany. Electrodes placed on her scalp. Current pulsing through her neurons in patterns designed to wake up dormant pathways. Hope sat there. Vacant. Drooling. Unchanged. Every doctor said the same thing eventually. Different words. Same meaning. Congenital brain malformation. No cure. Accept it. Accept it. How do you accept that your daughter is gone while she's still breathing? How do you accept that she'll never say daddy? Never ask why the sky is blue. Never laugh at a joke or cry at a movie or hold your hand because she wants to. not because you placed it there? Walker's business suffered. Board members noticed. He'd zone out during presentations. Miss calls from investors. Show up to meetings without reading the briefing documents. Howell Energy's stock price dipped. Competitors circled. Vultures smelling blood. Geraldine noticed too. His new wife. 6 months married. Beautiful. Intelligent. Patient with his obsession in a way Patricia never was. But lately, Walker caught something in her eyes when he mentioned hope. Frustration. Impatience. The look of someone waiting for him to move on. She's comfortable, darling, Geraldine would say. You've done everything humanly possible. Maybe it's time to think about a facility. Somewhere with full-time medical staff. Where she can get the attention she needs. Walker always said no. But the no's were getting weaker. Morning came to the Howell estate like a sentence being served. Hope sat in her playroom. A room full of toys she never touched. Blocks. Dolls. Books with bright pictures. All of them might as well be furniture. She didn't see them. Didn't care. Ms. Thornton, the occupational therapist, arrived at 9. She'd been working with Hope for 2 years. Every session the same. She'd place blocks in front of Hope. Demonstrate stacking. Use hand-over-hand guidance to make Hope's fingers grip. Hope would sit there. Then knock the blocks over. Not deliberately. Just a random movement of her arm. Meaningless. Ms. Thornton would try again. Same result. After 30 minutes, she'd pack her bag and leave, making notes on her tablet. No progress. Recommend continued therapy. Prognosis unchanged. The speech therapist came at 11. Lasted 10 minutes. She'd hold up picture cards. Hope, can you say ball? Can you point to the ball? Hope stared through the cards like they were invisible. The therapist gave up faster each week. You can't teach language to someone who doesn't have the capacity for it. Hope spent the rest of the day alone in her playroom. Surrounded by colors and shapes and possibilities she'd never understand. Rocking. Twitching. Drooling. But sometimes, if you watched carefully, her fingers moved in patterns. Not random spasms. Patterns. Like she was trying to sign something. Trying to spell something in a language nobody spoke. No one noticed. No one except the shadow watching from the doorway. The shadow that hadn't arrived yet. The shadow that would change everything. That evening, Walker came to Hope's room like he did every night. He'd read to her. Not because she understood. Not because it helped. Because it made him feel like less of a failure. Like he was still a father. He read from where the wild things are. Hope's eyes stayed vacant. He finished the last page. Closed the book. Bent down to kiss her forehead. And she did something she'd never done before. Her eyes moved. Not a spasm. Not random. They tracked his face. Followed his movement. Focused. For 1 second. Maybe 2. Walker froze. Hope. Nothing. Vacant again. Empty. He stood there. Heart pounding. Had he imagined it? He must have. For years of doctors said she couldn't track. Couldn't focus. Couldn't see. He'd imagined it. He had. But someone else hadn't. Someone else had seen that tiny flicker of awareness. That microsecond of consciousness trapped inside a body that wouldn't obey. And that someone was about to walk through the Howell estate's front gate with nothing but faith in her heart and bills she couldn't pay. Her name was Gloria Prentice. And she was about to burn Walker Howell's entire world to the ground to save his daughter. 2 weeks earlier, Gloria Prentice sat at her kitchen table in a cramped Houston apartment, staring at numbers that didn't make sense. Not because she couldn't do math. Because the math was impossible. Medical bills covered every inch of the table. Stacked like accusations. Baylor University Medical Center. $47,000. Houston Methodist. $93,000. Specialists. Labs. Emergency room visits that kept Keisha alive for 1 more day, 1 more week, 1 more month until they couldn't anymore. Insurance denied. Experimental treatment not covered. Pre-existing condition. The words that meant your sister dies and there's nothing you can do about it. Lupus. That's what the doctors called it. Keisha called it a death sentence. 19 years old. Full ride to Texas Southern. Chemistry major. Dreams of med school. Now she lay in ICU with kidneys that didn't work and a body attacking itself from the inside. Kidney transplant. $380,000. Might as well be $380 million. Gloria's nursing school debt sat on top of the pile. $67,000. She dropped out 6 months before graduation. Couldn't afford the final semester. Couldn't work full-time and study full-time and keep Keisha alive all at once. Something had to break. School broke first. The eviction notice came yesterday. 30 days. The landlord was nice about it. Said he understood. Said he was sorry. Still wanted her gone. Her phone rang. Baylor. She knew before she answered. Ms. Prentice, this is Dr. Morrison. I need to be direct with you. Without intervention, your sister has approximately 6 months. 6 months. Not years. Not even a year. 6 months to watch Keisha fade. 6 months to fail her. Gloria hung up. Pressed her palms together. Closed her eyes. God, I need a miracle. Show me the way. Her phone buzzed. Text message. Job alert. Live-in caregiver. Highland Park, Dallas. $85,000 per year plus housing. Apply immediately. Gloria stared at the screen. Highland Park. Billionaire territory. The kind of place where people like her cleaned toilets, not lived. She applied anyway. Because what else could she do? 3 days later, she stood at the gates of the Halwell estate, hands shaking so hard she had to clasp them behind her back. The mansion rose in front of her like something from a magazine. Perfect. Untouchable. The kind of wealth that didn't even know people like Gloria existed. Mrs. Constance Whitmore met her at the door. 60-something. British accent. The kind of woman who could make you feel small without saying a word. Everything about her was sharp. Voice. Eyes. The way she looked Gloria up and down like she was inspecting damaged goods. You're Gloria Prentice. Yes, ma'am. Follow me. Mrs. Whitmore's heels clicked against marble floors. No warmth. No welcome. Just efficiency. You're the 5th nanny this year. The others got 2, attached. Mr. Halwell doesn't want Hope coddled. She needs routine, not false hope. Do you understand? Gloria nodded. She understood. She needed this job more than she needed pride. You'll live on site. Small room above the garage. No visitors. No discussing Hope with anyone. Total discretion. Mrs. Whitmore slid papers across a desk. Non-disclosure agreement. Background check authorization. Confidentiality clause. Sign. Gloria signed. Each signature felt like selling a piece of herself. But Keisha needed $380,000. Pride was cheap. A woman appeared in the doorway. Young. Beautiful. Blonde hair pulled into a perfect twist. Designer dress. The kind of face that belonged on magazine covers. Is this the new one? Her voice dripped disinterest. Mrs. Halwell, this is Gloria Prentice. Mrs. Whitmore's tone shifted. Deferential. Careful. Geraldine Halwell looked at Gloria the way you'd look at furniture. Present. Unremarkable. Forgettable. Just keep her clean and quiet. Walker has enough stress. She disappeared down the hallway without waiting for a response. Mrs. Whitmore led Gloria to Hope's wing. Opened the door to the playroom. She's in here most days. Don't expect interaction. She doesn't have the capacity. Gloria stepped inside. Hope sat in her wheelchair by the window. Exactly as described. Blank stare. Slumped shoulders. Drool on her chin. 7 years old and already given up on. Gloria knelt down. Tried to make eye contact. Hi, Hope. My name's Gloria. Nothing. Not even a flicker. Mrs. Whitmore watched from the doorway. Judging. Measuring. Waiting for Gloria to fail the test she didn't know she was taking. Gloria unpacked her bag. She'd brought one personal item. A small music box. Silver. Tarnished. It belonged to Keisha. Their grandmother gave it to her before she died. Gloria wound it up. Set it on the floor near Hope. The tinkling melody filled the room. Tchaikovsky. Swan Lake. Keisha used to dance to it when they were kids. Before lupus. Before everything broke. Hope's pinky finger twitched. Gloria froze. Watched. Hope's eyes shifted. Micro-movement. Barely there. But there. Toward the sound. Gloria's heart slammed against her ribs. Don't waste your time. Mrs. Whitmore's voice cut through the music. She doesn't respond to anything. That's just muscle spasms. Random. Meaningless. Gloria said nothing. But she knew what she'd seen. That wasn't random. That was deliberate. That was a child trying to reach through a prison nobody else could see. Mrs. Whitmore left. The door clicked shut. Gloria sat with Hope until the music box wound down. Until silence filled the room again. Until Hope's eyes went vacant and empty like they'd never moved at all. That night, Gloria lay in her small room above the garage. The ceiling was low. The bed narrow. The whole space smaller than her Houston apartment. But it was clean. Safe. And it came with $85,000 that could save Keisha. She thought about Hope's finger. The way it twitched exactly when the music started. The way Hope's eyes shifted toward the sound. Small details. The kind everyone dismissed. Before we go further, I need you to understand something. What Gloria just saw, that tiny movement, would change everything. But most people miss the signs because they're not looking. Subscribe if you believe small details matter. Like this video if you've ever noticed something everyone else ignored. Tell me in the comments, have you ever seen a sign others missed? This story found you for a reason. Gloria whispered into the darkness. If I'm here for a reason, show me. Outside her window, a light turned on in Hope's wing. Middle of the night. Who goes to a disabled child's room at 2 in the morning? Gloria sat up. Watched. The light stayed on for exactly 7 minutes. Then went dark. Something wasn't right. The next morning, Gloria cleaned Hope's playroom while Hope sat in her wheelchair, staring at nothing. Gloria dusted shelves. Organized toys. Straightened books. Normal nanny work. Then she saw it. Small. Black. Mounted in the corner near the ceiling. A camera. Pointed directly at Hope's wheelchair. Medical monitoring, she thought. Makes sense for a disabled child. But then she found the second one. Hidden behind the bookshelf. Angled toward the doorway. And the third one. Tucked inside a stuffed bear on the shelf. Lens pointing at the entire room. 3 cameras. Not medical monitoring. Surveillance. Gloria's stomach dropped. Someone was watching Hope. Watching everything. Every moment. Every movement. And now they were watching Gloria watch Hope. Gloria kept her mouth shut about the cameras. Asking questions would raise flags. Draw attention. She needed to watch. Learn. Understand what was happening before she made a move that got her fired or worse. So she watched Hope. Day 1. Morning. Walker came to say goodbye before a business trip. Stood in the doorway of Hope's playroom. Didn't enter. Just spoke from a distance like his daughter was contagious. I'll be back in 3 days, sweetheart. Be good for Gloria. Hope sat in her wheelchair. Vacant. Empty. But Gloria saw it. Hope's pupils dilated. Just for a second. The way pupils dilate when you hear something you care about. When someone you love speaks. Walker didn't notice. He left. Hope's pupils contracted again. Back to nothing. Day 2. Afternoon. Gloria was organizing books on the shelf. Hope sat near the window. Sunlight cutting across her face. Gloria pulled out a picture book. Bright colors. Simple story about a rabbit. She set it on the table near Hope. Went back to the shelf. Movement in her peripheral vision. Hope's hand lifted. Slow. Trembling. Reached toward the book. Then stopped. Went limp. Fell back into her lap like someone cut the strings. Gloria's heart pounded. She turned. Hope stared at nothing. No awareness. No movement. But that hand had reached, deliberately, toward something she wanted. Day 3. After lunch. Hope's occupational therapist left early. Discouraged. Again. Gloria fed Hope her lunch. Soft foods. Applesauce. Mashed potatoes. Things she couldn't choke on. Hope ate. Slow. Mechanical. The way you'd expect. But 30 minutes later, after medication, Hope became more lethargic. Not the same. Worse. Head lolling. Eyes unfocused even by her standards. Drool increasing. Gloria watched the pattern. Before medication, slight awareness. After medication, nothing. Day 4. Gloria found Hope's medication schedule. Taped inside the cabinet in her bathroom. 3 pills. 3 times daily. Morning, afternoon, evening. Like clockwork. No missed doses. No flexibility. Gloria memorized the times. 7 a.m. 1 p.m. 7 p.m. She watched those medication windows. Watched what happened to Hope in the hours between. Morning dose. Hope went limp within 20 minutes. Afternoon dose. Same pattern. Evening dose. She practically disappeared. Day 5. Gloria couldn't stay quiet anymore. She found Mrs. Whitmore in the kitchen. "Ma'am, I noticed Hope takes quite a bit of medication. What are the pills for?" Mrs. Whitmore didn't look up from her tablet. "Seizure prevention. Doctor's orders." "Has she had seizures recently?" "That's not your concern. I'm just trying to understand her needs." Mrs. Whitmore's eyes cut to her. Sharp. Cold. "You're here to provide care, not question medical protocols established by specialists who've dedicated their lives to neurology. Don't question it." Gloria nodded. Backed down. But her mind raced. Seizure prevention. For a child who never seized. That evening, Gloria approached Mrs. Whitmore again. Carefully. "Ma'am, I'd like to help more with Hope's care. Would it be appropriate for me to administer her evening medication? Under your supervision, of course." Mrs. Whitmore hesitated. Studied Gloria's face. Looking for something. Suspicion. Challenge. Threat. Gloria kept her expression neutral. Eager. The face of someone who just wants to do a good job. "Fine. Follow me." They went to Hope's bathroom. Mrs. Whitmore opened the cabinet. 3 pill bottles. She handed them to Gloria one by one. Clonazepam. 1 tablet. Risperidone. Half tablet. This one. She held up an unmarked bottle. White pills. No label. 1 tablet. Crush them all. Mix with applesauce. Make sure she swallows. Gloria read the labels on the first 2 bottles. Clonazepam. 2 milligrams tablets. Risperidone. 4 milligrams tablets. Her nursing school knowledge kicked in. Clonazepam. Benzodiazepine. Powerful sedative. Used for seizures, yes. But also causes cognitive impairment, muscle weakness, memory loss. Risperidone. Antipsychotic. Causes drooling, tremors, sedation. She crushed the pills. Mixed them. Fed them to Hope while Mrs. Whitmore watched. Hope swallowed. Obedient. Mechanical. Mrs. Whitmore left. Gloria pulled out her phone. Researched. Clonazepam dosage for children, 0.01 to 0.03 milligrams per kilogram. Hope weighed maybe 50 pounds. 23 kilograms. Maximum dose, 0.69 milligrams. The bottle said 2 milligrams tablets. Hope was getting triple the maximum dose. Risperidone for children, 0.5 to 2 milligrams daily. Hope was getting 2 milligrams 3 times daily. 6 times the maximum. Gloria's hands shook. She clicked through medical journals. Studies. Case reports. Long-term high-dose benzodiazepines cause permanent cognitive damage. Antipsychotics in children cause irreversible neurological effects. Someone wasn't just sedating Hope. Someone was destroying her brain. Gloria thought of Keisha. Last year. The hospital overmedicated her. Gave her 3 times the correct dose of immunosuppressants. Keisha nearly died. Liver failure. Kidney damage. They caught it in time. Barely. But what if they hadn't? What if it had gone on for months? Years? This had been going on for years. Gloria sat in the dark. Phone light illuminating her face. Horror crawling up her spine. Someone was drugging Hope. Deliberately. Systematically. Destroying her mind from the inside while everyone believed she was born broken. The next morning, Gloria made a decision. She prepared Hope's breakfast. Oatmeal. Fruit. When Mrs. Whitmore brought the morning medication, Gloria took the tray. Thanked her. Walked toward Hope's room. Turned the corner. Dumped the crushed pills down the bathroom sink. Flushed them. Washed the bowl clean. Fed Hope plain oatmeal. Her heart hammered the entire time. If anyone checked, if anyone noticed, she'd be fired, arrested, lose everything. But she couldn't watch this child be poisoned. Not anymore. Mrs. Whitmore appeared an hour later. The pharmacy just called. There's been a mix-up with Hope's compounded medication. The afternoon dose won't be ready until tonight. Gloria's stomach dropped. She'd spilled the morning dose. Now the afternoon was delayed. Hope would go almost 12 hours without medication. Oh no. Is that dangerous? Mrs. Whitmore's face tightened. It's not ideal. Watch her carefully. Call me immediately if anything changes. She left. Gloria watched Hope all day. By noon, something shifted. Hope's eyes had more focus. Not much, but more. By 2 p.m., her head wasn't lolling. She sat straighter. By 4 p.m., Gloria set a toy near Hope. A stuffed rabbit. Hope's hand moved. Slow. Deliberate. Touched the rabbit's ear. Gloria's breath caught. By 6 p.m., Hope's eyes tracked Gloria across the room. Actually followed her movement. Then dinner arrived. With medication. Mrs. Whitmore personally administered it. Made sure Gloria watched. Made sure Hope swallowed. Within 30 minutes, Hope was gone again. Limp. Vacant. Empty. Gloria cleaned Hope's playroom that night. Picked up toys. Straightened books. Hope sat in her wheelchair. Drooling. Staring. Gloria turned her back. Organized the shelf. When she turned around, there was paper on Hope's lap. A crayon in her limp hand. Gloria walked over. Looked down. One word. Written in perfect, deliberate handwriting impossible for a 7-year-old with severe brain damage. Help. Gloria stared at the paper. Hands trembling. Legs shaking. The world tilting sideways. This child wasn't disabled. She was a prisoner. And someone had locked her inside her own body for 4 years while the world watched and did nothing. Gloria pocketed the paper. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. She looked at Hope. Really looked. Hope's eyes were closed. Head lolled to the side. Drool on her chin. Every inch of her screamed unconscious. But that word on the paper was deliberate. Perfect. Desperate. Gloria waited until the house went quiet. Past midnight. She crept down from her room above the garage. Slipped into Hope's wing. The cameras. She couldn't forget the cameras. But she had to risk it. Hope lay in bed. Eyes closed. Breathing steady. Gloria knelt beside her. Whispered. Hope. I know you can hear me. I know you're in there. Nothing. Gloria pulled out a crayon. Placed it in Hope's limp hand. Set a piece of paper on the bed. If you can understand me, draw something. Anything. Hope's hand stayed limp for 30 seconds. A minute. 2 minutes. Then her fingers twitched. The crayon moved. Slow. Shaking. Like every muscle was fighting against her. A circle. Perfect. Deliberate. Gloria gasped. Pressed her hand to her mouth to keep from crying out. You understand me, don't you? Hope's eyes opened. Just barely. Tears pooled at the corners. Spilled down her cheeks. She nodded. So small Gloria almost missed it. But it was there. Definite. Real. Gloria grabbed Hope's hand. Held it tight. I'm going to help you. I promise. I don't know how yet, but I promise. Hope's fingers squeezed back. Weak. Trembling. But there. Gloria's mind raced. We need a way to communicate. Something simple. Can you blink? One blink. Okay. One blink means yes. Two blinks means no. Understand? One blink. Gloria's heart hammered. Are they hurting you on purpose? Hope's eyes filled with fresh tears. One blink. Yes. Gloria felt something crack open inside her chest. Rage. Pure and burning. Do you know who? One blink. Can you tell me? Two blinks. No. Gloria understood. The medication. Hope could only move, only think clearly when the drugs wore off. And that window was narrow. Minutes. Maybe an hour at most. Then the chemicals dragged her back under. I'm going to figure this out, Gloria whispered. I'm going to get you out. One blink. Then Hope's eyes closed. The medication pulling her down again. Back into the prison. Gloria sat there in the dark, holding Hope's hand, thinking about another child. Another fight. Another time she'd refused to accept what doctors said was impossible. Houston's 3rd Ward. 20 years ago. Gloria was 5. Her mother was pregnant. Complications. Early delivery. The baby came too soon. Too small. Not breathing right. Malik. Born with cerebral palsy. The doctors gathered around her mother like vultures. Used words like severe. Permanent. Vegetative state. They said he'd never walk. Never talk. Never be anything but a burden. Gloria's mother looked at those doctors and said one word. No. She fought. Found physical therapists who believed. Speech therapists who cared. Worked 3 jobs to pay for it. Drove Malik to appointments every day. Held his hands and made him take steps even when he cried from the pain. Malik walked at age 7. Took his first steps in their tiny apartment while Gloria cheered. He talked at age 9. Full sentences. Thoughts. Jokes. Dreams. He graduated high school last year. Started community college this semester. Studying computer science. Living proof that doctors don't know everything. That giving up is a choice, not a requirement. Gloria learned 2 things from Malik. First, love fights harder than medicine. Second, doctors aren't always right. Then Keisha got sick. Lupus. The kind that eats you from inside. The kind that needs money Gloria didn't have. And this time love wasn't enough. This time the bills won. This time Gloria couldn't fight because fighting costs $380,000, and she barely had $380. But she could fight for hope. She could save this one. She wouldn't let another child be written off. Not while she had breath. The next morning, Gloria was reading to Hope in the playroom. Just a picture book. Simple story. She knew Hope understood every word. The door opened. Mrs. Whitmore. Face like stone. What are you doing? Reading to her. I specifically told you not to engage her emotionally. Gloria closed the book. Kept her voice calm. She's a child. She needs human connection. You're here to follow protocol. Nothing more. Mrs. Whitmore stepped closer. The previous nannies all made the same mistake. They thought they could help. They thought they knew better than the specialists. They were all wrong. Maybe they weren't wrong. Maybe nothing. Mrs. Whitmore's voice could cut glass. Do your job or find another one. Footsteps in the hallway. Geraldine appeared. Designer yoga outfit. Perfect hair. Smile that didn't reach her eyes. Is there a problem? Mrs. Whitmore straightened. Just clarifying expectations, Mrs. Halwell. Geraldine looked at Gloria. Really looked. Like she was calculating something. Hope is beyond help. Don't project your own issues onto her. It's not fair to anyone. Gloria bit her tongue. Nodded. They left. But Gloria noticed something. Geraldine's face when she looked at Hope. Not pity. Not sadness. Fear. Like hope was a bomb that might go off. That night, Gloria started watching more carefully. Who handled Hope's medication? When? How? Mrs. Whitmore received the pills from a private pharmacy. Delivered weekly. But Geraldine was always nearby when they were administered. Always watching. Always present. On Thursday, Gloria followed Geraldine. Stayed in the shadows. Watched her slip into Walker's study. Closed the door. Gloria crept closer. Pressed her ear to the wood. Geraldine's voice. Low. Urgent. On the phone. It's working. She's deteriorating right on schedule. By the custody hearing, even Walker will agree to institutionalization. Silence. Listening. No, he doesn't suspect. He's too busy drowning in guilt. Another month and we'll have her locked away permanently. Then the trust fund transfers and we're done. Gloria's blood turned to ice. Custody hearing. Institutionalization. Trust fund. This wasn't medical malpractice. This was calculated. Deliberate. A plan. Geraldine was destroying Hope's mind to steal her money. Gloria backed away. Quiet. Careful. Her mind spinning. She needed proof. Real proof. Something concrete Walker couldn't ignore. Friday night. Gloria waited until the house slept. Crept into Hope's room. Searched. The cameras watched. She had to be fast. Under the bed. Nothing. In the closet. Nothing. The toy chest. Dolls. Stuffed animals. Blocks. There. In the back. Behind a teddy bear. A small vial. Clear liquid. No label. A syringe. Gloria's hands closed around it. This was it. Evidence. Proof. The door creaked. Gloria spun. Geraldine stood in the doorway. Phone in her hand. Already dialing. Face calm. Smiling. Security? We have an intruder in Hope's room. She's armed. Security grabbed Gloria's arms. Rough. Efficient. The vial clattered to the floor. Within minutes she was dragged through the mansion's marble hallways, past servants who looked away, into Walker's study. Walker sat behind his desk. Geraldine beside him. Mrs. Whitmore near the door. A man in a suit Gloria didn't recognize. Lawyer. Had to be. Geraldine held up the vial. I found her tampering with Hope's medication. She had this. A syringe. In the middle of the night. That's not mine. Gloria's voice cracked. I found it hidden in Hope's room. Behind her teddy bear. The lawyer leaned forward. Ms. Prentice, you signed a non-disclosure agreement. Breaking into your employer's home, entering a minor's bedroom after hours, this is a serious breach of contract and potentially criminal. Walker looked exhausted. Hollowed out. Why were you in Hope's room? Because someone is poisoning your daughter. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. Geraldine laughed. Light. Dismissive. She's delusional. Probably on drugs herself. We should test her. Gloria's hands shook. Mr. Halwell, Hope's medication is triple the safe dosage. Clonazepam and risperidone in amounts that would sedate an adult. She's been drugged for years. Walker's voice was quiet. Dangerous. Gloria, I appreciate your concern. But Hope's condition is genetic. We've had the best doctors in the world examine her. Have you tested her blood recently? Actually tested it for toxicity? Walker paused. Something flickered in his eyes. Geraldine stepped in fast. This is ridiculous. She needs to be fired and prosecuted. We're wasting time. Walker rubbed his face. Gloria, I'm going to give you a chance to leave quietly. Pack your things. I won't press charges if you go now. Gloria's heart dropped into her stomach. She thought of Keisha. The bills. The eviction notice. The $85,000 salary disappearing. Her sister dying because Gloria threw away the only chance to save her. But then she saw it. Hope's photo on Walker's desk. 7 years old. Smiling. Before the diagnosis. Before someone stole her life. Mr. Halwell, please. Gloria's voice steadied. Just stop her medication for 24 hours. Watch what happens. That's all I'm asking. You want to endanger a disabled child based on a conspiracy theory? Geraldine's voice rose. This is insane. I think we're done here. Walker stood. Gloria pulled out her phone. Hands shaking. I recorded Hope. She can write. She can communicate. She's been aware this whole time. She played the video. Hope blinking. Once for yes. Twice for no. Hope's hand moving a crayon. Drawing that perfect circle. Walker's face went white. Geraldine lunged for the phone. That's manipulated. Deep fake. She probably drugged Hope herself to make that video. Walker's voice cut through the room. Everyone out. I need to think. Walker. Out. They left. Geraldine shot Gloria a look that promised violence. Mrs. Whitmore's face was stone. The lawyer collected his briefcase. Gloria stood there, alone with Walker. He didn't look at her. Go pack. Security will escort you off the property in the morning. Mr. Halwell. Go. Gloria went. Her room above the garage felt smaller than ever. She threw clothes into her duffel bag. Hands shaking. Tears streaming. Everything she owned fit in 2 bags. That's what 25 years of life looked like when you measured it. Her phone rang. Baylor University Medical Center. Ms. Prentice, this is Dr. Morrison. Your sister's condition has deteriorated. We need to make a decision about life support. Tonight. Gloria's legs gave out. She sat hard on the bed. How long does she have? Without intervention? Days. Maybe a week. Gloria hung up. Pressed her hands to her face. She'd failed. Failed Keisha. Failed Hope. Failed everyone who ever depended on her. Her grandmother's Bible sat on the nightstand. Old. Worn. Pages soft from years of fingers searching for hope. Gloria opened it. Random page. Esther 4 verse 14. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. Royal position. Gloria almost laughed. She was about to be homeless, and her sister was dying. She closed her eyes. God, I don't understand. Why put me here if I can't help? Why show me the truth if no one believes me? Silence answered. Gloria kept praying. Why give me eyes to see if I can't do anything about it? Why let me love hope if... Sirens outside. Loud. Close. Gloria ran to the window. Ambulance. Lights flashing. Pulling up to the main house. Hope. What Gloria was about to do would cost her everything. If you've ever had to choose between protecting yourself and protecting someone powerless, you know this moment. Subscribe if you stand with people who choose truth over safety. Comment below, would you risk your own family to save someone else's child? Because that's exactly what Gloria had to decide. She ran. Didn't think. Just ran. Hope's room was chaos. EMTs. Equipment. Walker pacing like a caged animal. Hope on the floor. Body rigid. Convulsing. She just started seizing. Walker's voice broke. Out of nowhere. Gloria pushed through. When did she take her medication? Walker's eyes wild. An hour ago. Why? Gloria turned to the EMT. Check for toxicity. Benzodiazepine and antipsychotic overdose. Now. The EMT looked up. Who are you? Someone who actually cares about this child. Geraldine appeared in the doorway. Hair perfect despite the hour. She's the nanny. She has no medical authority. Get her out. But the EMT was already running the portable test. Blood draw. Scanner. Seconds that felt like hours. The machine beeped. The EMT's face went white. Jesus. Benzodiazepine levels are 4 times therapeutic range. Risperidone through the roof. How is she even alive? Walker staggered. Grabbed the wall. What? Your daughter's been overdosed. Systematically. This isn't a seizure. It's toxicity. Geraldine's face stayed calm. Too calm. That's impossible. Her medication is prescribed by. Get her to the ER. Now. The EMT didn't wait for permission. We need to flush her system before permanent damage occurs. They loaded Hope onto the gurney. Walker followed. Geraldine followed. The ambulance screamed away into the night. Gloria stood in the empty room. Shaking. Victorious. Destroyed. Security arrived 10 minutes later. Ms. Prentice, Mr. Halwell has requested you leave the property immediately. They escorted her out. Grabbed her bags. Walked her to the gate. Dallas streets at 3 a.m. stretched dark and endless. Gloria's phone. One text from Walker. Don't come back. You're fired. She stood there. Everything lost. Keisha dying. Job gone. Homeless in 12 hours. Then she heard it. A voice. Small. Rough from years of silence. But clear. Coming from the ambulance speeding away in the distance. Carried on the wind. Impossible but real. Stay. Hope's voice. Her first word. Loud. Clear. Desperate. Stay. The word echoed through the Highland Park mansions. Through the manicured gardens. Through the gates that separated the powerful from everyone else. And somewhere in that ambulance, Geraldine's face went pale. Because Hope wasn't supposed to speak. Hope was supposed to disappear. 3 days. That's how long Gloria lasted on Dallas streets with nowhere to go and a sister dying 200 miles away. 3 days of sleeping in her car. Rationing dollar menu food. Watching her phone die because she couldn't afford to charge it anywhere. 3 days of knowing Hope was back in that mansion. Back on those drugs. Back in that prison. She still had the key. Mrs. Whitmore never asked for it back during the chaos. Small oversight. Fatal mistake. 2 a.m. The Highland Park mansion slept. Gloria's hands shook as she slipped the key into the service entrance. The lock clicked. Too loud. She froze. Listened. Nothing. She moved through dark hallways. Every shadow looked like security. Every creak sounded like footsteps. Her heart slammed against her ribs so hard she thought it might break through. Hope's wing. The door was unlocked. Strange. Gloria pushed it open. The room was dark except for moonlight streaming through the window. Hope sat upright in bed. Not slumped. Not drooling. Upright. Gloria stepped inside. Hope stood up. Actually stood. Walked to the window on legs that weren't supposed to work. Gloria gasped. Hand over mouth. Knees threatening to give out. Hope turned. Put one finger to her lips. Shhhh. Her voice was raspy. Rough from years of silence. But clear. Real. Human. You can talk. Gloria's whisper barely made sound. When they don't drug me. Hope's words came slow. Deliberate. Like every syllable took effort. I have 2 hours. Before it comes back. Gloria's legs did give out then. She fell to her knees. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hope walked over. 7 years old, but moving like someone much older. Someone who'd forgotten how to be a child. You came back. Hope's eyes filled with tears. Everyone else left. But you came back. Gloria grabbed Hope's hands. Held them tight. Tell me everything. Fast. We don't have much time. Hope sat on the floor with Gloria. Spoke in broken sentences with long pauses. Like her brain was working faster than her mouth could keep up. I've been aware. For 4 years. Trapped. In my own body. Watching. Hearing. Understanding everything. When did it start? After Geraldine married Daddy. 6 months after the wedding. Started small. Made me sleepy. Then more. More. Until I couldn't move anymore. Why? Why would she do this? Hope's voice got smaller. My inheritance. 800 million. From my mother's family. Trust fund. If I'm institutionalized, before I'm 12, Daddy gets sole control. And Geraldine's in his will. If something happens to him, she gets everything. Gloria's blood turned to ice. She's killing you for money. Slowly. Making it look natural. Making everyone think. I was born this way. Did you try to tell your father? Hope's face crumpled. Once. When it first started. Before the drugs got strong. I tried to write him a note. Geraldine found it. That night, she increased the dose. I couldn't move for 3 days. Couldn't blink. Couldn't breathe right. Thought I was dying. She pulled up her sleeve. Small scars dotted her inner arm. Bruises in different stages of healing. She pinches me. When I try to resist. When the medication wears off and I start to move. She hurts me. Says if I ever tell, she'll make it worse. Gloria's rage was a living thing. Burning. Consuming. That monster. Hope grabbed Gloria's hand with both of hers. Small fingers gripping tight. You believe me. You're the only one. Who ever looked. Who ever saw. Gloria pulled Hope into her arms. Held her. I see you, baby. I see you. They stayed like that for seconds that felt like hours. Then Gloria pulled back. I need evidence. Video. Photos. Something Walker can't deny. She pulled out her phone. Hit record. Hope, can you read for me? Hope nodded. Picked up a book from her shelf. Read 3 pages. Fluently. 7-year-old reading level at minimum. Gloria filmed Hope writing her name. Drawing pictures. Answering questions. Demonstrating intelligence impossible for her diagnosis. Where does Geraldine keep the drugs? Hope pointed to the toy chest. False bottom. Under the stuffed animals. Gloria opened it. Moved toys aside. Found the hidden compartment. 3 unmarked vials. Clear liquid. Syringes. And a notebook. Gloria opened the notebook. Geraldine's handwriting. Dates. Doses. Clinical notes like Hope was a lab rat. Subject showing resistance. Increase evening dose by 2 milligrams. Subject non-responsive to verbal commands. Decrease breakfast dose by 1 milligram to allow minimal physical function for appearance. Walker questioning diagnosis again. Increase all doses 20%. Must accelerate timeline. Subject. Not Hope. Not stepdaughter. Subject. Gloria photographed every page. Every vial. Every piece of evidence. Hope's voice got weaker. The drugs. I can feel them. Coming back. In my blood. How long? Minutes. Maybe 10. Then I'll be gone again. Gloria made a decision. I'm getting you out of here. Tonight. He won't believe you. Hope's words slurred slightly. Daddy loves her. He'll choose her. Then we'll make him see. Noise downstairs. Footsteps. Heavy. Multiple. Flashlight beams cut through the hallway. Security. Hope's eyes went wide. The cameras. They saw you. Gloria grabbed Hope. Pulled her into the closet. Shut the door. Hope's hand in hers. Tiny. Trembling. The footsteps got closer. Stopped outside Hope's room. Check inside. The door opened. Light flooded the room. Gloria held her breath. Hope pressed against her. Going limp. The drugs taking her back under. Rooms clear. Check the closet. This was it. No escape. No plan. Just Gloria and a child she'd promised to save. The closet door opened. Security guard. 2 of them. Guns drawn. Don't move. Gloria held up her hands. Please. Listen to me. This child is being poisoned. Save it for the police. They dragged her out. Hope collapsed in Gloria's arms. Dead weight. The medication fully active again. Drooling. Vacant. Let me explain. You broke into a private residence. Kidnapped a disabled child. You're done. They hauled Gloria downstairs. Hope limp in a guard's arms. Through the marble hallways. Into the main foyer. Walker stood there, phone in hand, face granite. Geraldine beside him, smiling. Red and blue lights outside. Police. Walker's voice was ice. Officers, that's the woman who's been poisoning my stepdaughter. Geraldine stepped forward. Face perfect. Tears on demand. She's obsessed with Hope. We tried to help her, but she became dangerous. We found evidence she's been switching Hope's medication, trying to harm her. Gloria's stomach dropped. That's a lie. I have proof. She broke in tonight. Geraldine's voice broke convincingly. We caught her trying to take Hope. God knows what she planned to do. The officers approached Gloria. Handcuffs ready. Walker looked at Hope. Limp. Drooling. Unconscious. Exactly like she'd been for 4 years. No proof she'd ever been different. No evidence. Just Gloria's word against a billionaire's wife. Mr. Howell. Gloria's voice cracked. Please. Check my phone. I have video. Hope was talking. Walking. Explaining everything. Geraldine's hand shot out. Grabbed Gloria's phone from her pocket. Let me see the supposed evidence. She looked at the screen. Smiled. Dropped the phone. It shattered on the marble floor. Oops. The officers grabbed Gloria's arms. Wait. Gloria screamed. The notebook. In Hope's toy chest. Geraldine's dosage log. The unmarked vials. Test them. Please. Walker looked at Geraldine. What is she talking about? Geraldine's face was pure innocence. I have no idea. She's delusional. Dangerous. Please get her away from my daughter. The officers pulled Gloria toward the door. And then Hope's mouth opened. One word. Weak. Slurred. But there. Stay. Everyone froze. Hope's eyes opened. Barely. Fighting through the medication. Fighting through years of being silenced. Stay. Gloria, stay. The word echoed through the mansion. Walker's face went white. Geraldine's smile disappeared. And Gloria knew. This was it. The moment everything changed or everything ended. Hope's lips moved again. Slower. Harder. Daddy, she's hurting me. Then her eyes closed. The drugs pulled her back under. But she'd spoken. And Walker had heard. The bailiff caught Geraldine at the courtroom exit. Grabbed her arm. She twisted. Fought. Perfectly manicured nails clawing at his face. Let go of me. I've done nothing wrong. 2 more bailiffs. Handcuffs. Geraldine screaming about lawsuits and rights and persecution. The judge's voice cut through the chaos. Mrs. Howell, you're being detained pending investigation into the poisoning of Hope Howell. Sit down. Walker Howell burst through the courtroom doors. Out of breath. Face white. What's happening? The judge slid the toxicology report across the bench. Mr. Howell, your daughter has been systematically poisoned. For years. Walker read. His hands shook. The words blurred. Benzodiazepine. Antipsychotic. Lethal doses. Cognitive damage. Systematic administration. He looked at Geraldine. His wife. The woman he'd trusted. Loved. Married. She looked back. No tears. No fear. Just cold calculation. This is a mistake, she said. Calm. Controlled. I can explain everything. Walker ran. Children's Medical Center Dallas. Pediatric ICU. Walker pushed through doors. Nurses. Doctors. Equipment. Too much. Too loud. Dr. Neka Obi met him. 40-something. Intelligent eyes. The kind of doctor who didn't sugarcoat. Mr. Howell, your daughter's blood contains lethal combinations of sedatives, antipsychotics, and an unidentified compound we're still analyzing. That's impossible. She's on prescribed medication. Doctor's orders. I've seen the prescriptions. These doses would kill an adult. Dr. Obi's voice was clinical. Precise. For a 7-year-old child? This is systematic poisoning. Someone has been deliberately destroying her neurological function. She pulled up a chart. Digital. Color-coded. Dates going back 18 months. Look at this pattern. Gradual increase. Carefully calibrated to cause maximum damage without triggering obvious overdose symptoms. Whoever did this had medical knowledge. Walker stared at the screen. Couldn't process. Couldn't breathe. We've stopped all medication. Began chelation therapy to flush her system. Your daughter is already showing signs of recovery. Recovery. The word felt foreign. She squeezed my hand an hour ago. Deliberate. Responsive. Mr. Halwell, your daughter isn't disabled. She's been drugged into compliance. Walker's legs gave out. He grabbed the wall. Slid down. Sat on the floor of the hospital hallway while nurses stepped around him. 4 years. 4 years of believing hope was broken. 4 years of specialists and treatments and millions of dollars. 4 years of grief. And she'd been aware. Conscious. Trapped. While he remarried. While he moved on. While he hired someone to destroy her. Dr. Obi knelt beside him. Mr. Halwell, you couldn't have known. I should have known. His voice broke. I'm her father. Back at the mansion, Detective Ramirez executed the search warrant. 3 officers. Forensics team. They tore through Geraldine's private study. Mrs. Whitmore watched. Silent. For once, she had nothing to say. Ramirez found the laptop hidden behind a false panel in the closet. Expensive. Encrypted. Not encrypted enough. He opened the email application. Dozens of messages. Sent to an address he recognized from the divorce files. Patricia Holberg. Walker's ex-wife. Ramirez read. The plan is working. Hope will be institutionalized within 6 months. W doesn't suspect a thing. The neurologist you recommended is perfect. He'll sign anything for the right price. Patricia's response came 2 hours later. Good. Once she's locked away and he's devastated, you'll have complete control. The prenup doesn't cover mental breakdown. When he falls apart, we'll own everything. My lawyer says we can argue diminished capacity. Between losing his damaged daughter and the stress of the business, he'll be easy to manipulate. More emails. Coordination. Strategy. Numbers. One name kept appearing. Dr. Bartholomew Finch. Neurologist. One of Hope's original diagnosticians. The one who declared her condition irreversible. Bank records attached. Offshore account. Cayman Islands. Transfer of $500,000 from Patricia Holberg to Bartholomew Finch. Date, 3 days after Hope's diagnosis. Payment for fabricating test results. Ramirez called the precinct. I need a warrant for Dr. Bartholomew Finch. And get Patricia Holberg's last known address. Now. The conspiracy wasn't just Geraldine. It was Patricia. The ex-wife who'd abandoned Hope. She'd orchestrated this from the beginning. Partnered with Geraldine. Destroyed Hope to destroy Walker. Revenge and greed wrapped in one nightmare. Walker returned to the mansion at sunset. The house felt different. Smaller. Like the walls were closing in. He found Geraldine in their bedroom. Packing. Designer luggage. Calm. Efficient. You knew. His voice was barely a whisper. Geraldine didn't look up. Knew what, darling? Hope is waking up. They stopped the medication. She's speaking. Moving. She's been conscious this whole time. Geraldine's hands stopped. Just for a second. The mask slipped. Something cold and ancient showed underneath. Then she smiled. That's wonderful news. I'm so happy for you both. I saw the emails. You and Patricia. Silence. The kind that confirms everything. You can't prove anything. The police already have your laptop. Geraldine's face went blank. Then she laughed. Actually laughed. Patricia warned me you'd figure it out eventually. She said you were smarter than you looked. Why? Why would you do this? $800 million. Geraldine zipped her suitcase. Hope's trust fund. If she's institutionalized before 12, you get control. And I'm in your will as primary beneficiary. Simple math. You destroyed my daughter for money. I destroyed nobody. She was already broken. I just accelerated the timeline. Walker's hands clenched. Every muscle in his body screamed to hurt her, to make her feel what Hope felt, what he felt. But he didn't move. Security is outside. They're waiting to take you to the police. Geraldine grabbed her bag, walked to the door, stopped, looked back. You'll regret this, Walker. Patricia has lawyers you can't imagine. She'll destroy you in court. Take everything. The company. The house. Your reputation. You'll wish you'd just let this go. Get out of my house. She left. High heels clicking on marble. Head high. Like she'd already won. Security met her in the driveway. Handcuffs. Police cruiser. She went quietly this time. Smiling. Geraldine's lawyer was expensive. The kind whose retainer cost more than most people's houses. She made bail in 4 hours. $2 million. Posted by an anonymous donor. Everyone knew it was Patricia. Geraldine walked out of lockup at midnight. Free. Untouchable. She went straight to the mansion. But Hope wasn't there. Transfer van. Taking her from the hospital back to the estate under medical supervision. Geraldine's car followed the van. Close. Too close. At a red light, she struck. Opened the van's side door. Medical staff shouted. Geraldine grabbed Hope. The child was weak. Still recovering. Couldn't fight. Walker's phone. The one he'd left with Hope for emergencies. Geraldine snatched it too. The van's back door slammed shut. Geraldine's driver hit the gas. Hope's scream cut through the phone speaker. Daddy. Daddy, help. Walker grabbed his cell. Hope? Hope. Geraldine's voice. Cold. Final. If I can't have the money, no one can. The line went dead. Walker stared at his phone. His daughter. Kidnapped. Again. And this time, Geraldine had nothing left to lose. Walker's phone died in his hand. Hope's scream still echoing in his ears. Detective Ramirez was already moving. Track the van's GPS. Now. Dispatch crackled. Vehicle heading west on I-35. Direction, Austin. Walker grabbed his keys. Ramirez stopped him. You're not driving. You're shaking too hard. I'll get you there. They hit 90 on the highway. Lights. Sirens. Other cars blurring past. Walker's phone rang. Ramirez. They found the van. Lake Travis. Geraldine's lake house. She's inside with Hope. I'm 10 minutes out. Walker, we're bringing someone else. Someone Hope trusts. The lake house sat on 2 acres of waterfront. Expensive. Isolated. Perfect for hiding. Police had the perimeter locked down. SWAT. Negotiators. Helicopters overhead. Walker's own helicopter landed on the road. He jumped out before the blades stopped spinning. And saw Gloria. She stood next to Detective Ramirez. No handcuffs. No orange jumpsuit. Free. Their eyes met. Walker's throat closed. Everything he'd done to her. The arrest. The charges. The public destruction. And she'd been right. About everything. Mr. Halwell. Her voice was steady. Calm. Like she'd already forgiven him before he'd asked. Inside the lake house, a phone rang. The negotiator answered. Put it on speaker. Geraldine's voice. I want a helicopter. 50 miles clearance. Or the girl goes off the balcony. Hope's cry in the background. Weak. Terrified. Daddy. Walker lunged toward the house. 3 officers held him back. The negotiator tried. Calm. Professional. Trained. Mrs. Halwell, let's talk about what you need. I need Walker to suffer the way I'm suffering. Geraldine's voice cracked. He took everything from me. You took everything from yourself. The negotiator's mistake. Geraldine laughed. Unhinged. Tell Walker he has 10 minutes. Then she flies. The line went dead. Hope's voice came through the window. Second floor. Balcony. Barely audible. Gloria? Gloria, are you there? Gloria's heart shattered. She moved toward the house. Ramirez grabbed her arm. You can't. She's calling for me. Gloria's voice broke. Not her father. Not the police. Me. The negotiator shook his head. Civilians don't enter hostage situations. Gloria looked at Walker. Let me talk to her. Hope trusts me. It's too dangerous. She's terrified. She needs someone who loves her. Someone she knows will protect her. Gloria's eyes held his. I failed her once. I won't do it again. Walker stared at this woman. This stranger. This nanny he'd fired and destroyed. The only person who'd ever actually seen his daughter. He looked at the SWAT commander. Let her go in. Sir, I can't authorize. I own half this county. Let her in or I'll walk in myself. The commander hesitated. Nodded. Gloria walked toward the lake house. Unarmed. Alone. Heart hammering but feet steady. She opened the door. Called out. Geraldine? It's Gloria. I'm coming up. I'm not armed. Silence. Then. Come up slowly. Hands where I can see them. Gloria climbed the stairs. Each step felt like walking to an execution. The second floor opened to a balcony. Glass doors. Lake view. Beautiful. Deadly. Geraldine stood at the railing. Hope in front of her. Geraldine's arm around the child's throat. The balcony railing was low. 3 feet. One push and Hope would fall 20 feet to concrete. One more step and I drop her. Gloria stopped. You won't. Because you need her alive for the money. Geraldine laughed. Wild. Broken. Smart. But plans change. If I can't have 800 million, at least I can make Walker feel what I feel. Hope whimpered. Her eyes found Gloria. Filled with tears. Hope, baby, look at me. Gloria's voice was soft. Steady. I'm here. I've got you. Gloria signed with her hands. Simple. Clear. Hoping Hope understood. When I say now, drop to the floor. Hope's eyes widened. Barely nodded. Gloria stepped closer. Geraldine's grip tightened. You know what the saddest part is? Gloria kept her voice conversational. Walker would have given you anything. Money. Status. Love. You didn't need to destroy his daughter. Men like him don't give. Geraldine's voice was acid. They control. I was taking what should be mine. And now you have nothing. No money. No husband. No freedom. Was it worth it? Something in Geraldine's face crumbled. Her grip on Hope loosened. Just a fraction. Gloria saw the red laser dot appear on Geraldine's shoulder. Sniper. Positioned across the lake. She looked at Hope. Mouthed the word. Now. Hope dropped. The gunshot cracked. Geraldine's shoulder exploded. She screamed. Fell backward. Hope hit the balcony floor. Gloria lunged. Covered Hope's body with her own. Shielded her from everything. SWAT poured in. Secured Geraldine. Screaming. Bleeding. Defeated. Gloria held Hope. Tight. The child sobbed into her shoulder. Real sobs. Loud. Messy. Alive. I've got you, Gloria whispered. You're safe. I've got you. Children's Medical Center. Again. But this time Hope was just sleeping. Peaceful. No medication. No poison. Just rest. Walker and Gloria stood in the hallway. Fluorescent lights humming. The exhaustion of survival settling in. Walker couldn't meet her eyes. I don't know how to apologize for what I did to you. You trusted the wrong people. I trusted credentials over character. I believed my new wife over the woman who actually saw my daughter. His voice cracked. I let them arrest you. Destroy your reputation. Drag your name through every news outlet in Texas, while you were the only person trying to save Hope. He fell to his knees. Right there in the hospital hallway. This billionaire. This CEO. This man who controlled empires. On his knees in front of a woman he tried to destroy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Gloria wiped her eyes. Get up, Mr. Hallwell. I'll pay your legal fees. Your sister's medical bills. Whatever you need. Whatever it costs. I don't want your money. Walker looked up. Confused. Broken. I want you to be the father Hope deserves. Be present. Be there. Actually see her. That's payment enough. Walker broke. Tears streaming. Shoulders shaking. All the grief and guilt and failure pouring out. Gloria put her hand on his shoulder. She forgives you. Now you have to forgive yourself. The press conference happened 3 days later. Walker at a podium. Cameras everywhere. The story had exploded. National news. International coverage. I stand before you today to publicly apologize to Gloria Prentice. She tried to save my daughter while I had her arrested. She risked everything while I believed lies. She is a hero. I am a fool. He announced a $5 million donation to nursing scholarships in Gloria's name. Full exoneration. Record expunged. Personal letter of recommendation. Patricia was arrested in Monaco. Extradited. Charged with conspiracy to commit attempted murder, fraud, and child endangerment. Dr. Bartholomew Finch lost his medical license. Faced criminal charges for fabricating medical records and accepting bribes. Geraldine was denied bail. Attempted murder. Kidnapping. Assault on a child. She'd spend the next 20 years in prison. Justice. Finally. Completely. This is what redemption looks like. Walker Hallwell learned what every powerful person needs to learn. Listen to the ones no one else hears. If this story changed how you see truth and power, subscribe. If you believe the overlooked often see what the important miss, like this video. Tell me in the comments, what did Gloria teach you about courage? 3 months later. Hope sat in her father's study. Reading aloud. Chapter book. Advanced for her age. But she was making up for lost time. Gloria stood in the doorway. Watching. Smiling. Hope looked up. Her eyes bright. Alive. Free. Gloria? Can I tell Daddy the real reason you came to work here? Gloria's breath caught. She'd thought no one knew her secret. Walker looked between them. What's she talking about? Hope's smile was gentle. Knowing. Gloria didn't come here for the money. She came here because of destiny. Gloria's legs went weak. Your daughter, Hope continued. The one you lost. The one you couldn't save. The room went silent. And Gloria realized. Hope had always known. From the very beginning. Gloria's hands trembled. Hope knew. Had always known. Walker stood. Confused. Whose destiny? Gloria's voice was barely a whisper. My daughter. The room went still. I was 19. Working 3 jobs. No insurance. No safety net. Gloria's tears fell. Her name was Destiny. 6 years old. Beautiful. Smart. Full of questions about everything. Hope walked over. Took Gloria's hand. Held it tight. She got sick. Fever. Headache. I thought it was the flu. Gave her children's Tylenol. Kept working because I couldn't afford to miss a shift. By the time I realized it was serious, by the time I got her to the ER. Gloria's voice broke. Meningitis. The doctor said if we'd come 12 hours earlier, they could have saved her. Walker's face crumpled. I held her while she died. She tried to speak, but couldn't. Just looked at me with these eyes that said, Mommy, help me. And I couldn't. I failed her. Hope squeezed Gloria's hand. That's why you noticed me. Because of destiny. Gloria nodded. Tears streaming. I saw the same look in your eyes. A child screaming inside, but no one could hear. I couldn't save my daughter. But I could save you. Walker's voice was thick. You saved Hope because you couldn't save destiny. God didn't let me save my daughter. Gloria wiped her face. But he let me save yours. That's enough for me. Walker crossed the room. Pulled Gloria into a hug. It's more than enough. It's everything. Hope now attended the Greenhill School. Specialized program for gifted children. Testing showed an IQ of 142. Teachers were stunned. A child who'd been written off as severely disabled was now reading 3 grades above her level. She'd taught herself Spanish. During those 4 years of imprisonment, locked in her own body, she'd listened to audiobooks. Absorbed everything. Stored it away. Piano lessons started in September. Her teacher called Walker after the 3rd session. Mr. Halwell, your daughter is composing original music. At 7 years old. This is extraordinary. Therapy twice a week. Processing trauma. Learning to trust. Learning that the world wasn't always cruel. Her first day of school, Hope was nervous. Excited. Real emotions she could finally express. Walker drove her. Held her hand walking to the entrance. You're the bravest person I know. Hope looked up at him. Smiled. No, Daddy. Gloria is. Inside Walker's study, weeks later, Gloria's phone rang. Baylor University Medical Center. She almost didn't answer. Too many bad calls from that number. Too many memories of Keisha dying. But she answered. Ms. Prentice, this is Dr. Morrison. We found a kidney donor for your sister. Anonymous donor. Full match. We can schedule surgery next week. Gloria's phone slipped from her hand. Clattered on the desk. Walker picked it up. Spoke to the doctor. Confirmed. Hung up. Gloria stared at him. How? He smiled. Soft. Genuine. I made a few calls. Found someone compatible. They were willing. Walker. You gave me my daughter back. Let me give you your sister. Gloria collapsed into the chair. Sobbing. Years of grief and fear and desperation pouring out. Hope appeared in the doorway. Ran to Gloria. Wrapped small arms around her. It's okay, Gloria. You're allowed to receive miracles too. Gloria held Hope. This child she'd saved. Who'd saved her right back. 6 months later, Hope's 8th birthday party filled the Halwell estate with something it hadn't held in years. Laughter. Balloons. Cake. Children from Hope's school running through the gardens. Music playing. Life bursting through every corner. Keisha sat on the lawn with Hope. Healthy. Glowing. The transplant had worked. Her lupus was managed. Her kidneys functioned. She was studying again. Living again. The two of them made flower crowns from the garden. Giggling. Hope teaching Keisha the Spanish words for different colors. Walker and Gloria stood on the porch. Watching. Thank you, Gloria said. For seeing me. For finally listening. Walker shook his head. Thank you for never giving up on her. When everyone else did. When I did. Hope's laughter carried across the lawn. Pure. Joyful. Free. You know what Hope told me last week? Walker's voice was soft. What? She said she's glad it happened. The poisoning. The trauma. All of it. Gloria turned to him. Shocked. She said if it hadn't happened, she never would have met you. And meeting you was worth everything. Gloria's tears fell again. But these were different. Not grief. Not pain. Something else. Joy. Pure. Complete. Inside the house, a photo sat on Walker's desk. New frame. 3 people. Walker. Hope. Gloria. Family. Not by blood. By choice. By love. By the kind of bond that only forms when people save each other. Sometimes God doesn't send miracles through the powerful. Sometimes He sends them through the broken, the overlooked, the ones with nothing left to lose except their faith. Gloria Prentice had every reason to stay silent. Every reason to protect herself. To choose survival over sacrifice. But she chose to speak. Chose to fight. Chose to love a child who wasn't hers while her own sister was dying. And in speaking, she saved 2 lives. Hope's. And her own. Because saving Hope meant Walker saved Keisha. And saving Keisha meant Gloria could finally breathe. Could finally live without the weight of losing everyone she loved. Full circle. All debts paid. All wounds healing. Walker transformed. From a man who trusted credentials over character. From someone who threw money at problems instead of actually seeing them. He'd learned the hardest lesson. That love isn't bought. It's earned. Through presence. Through attention. Through actually seeing the people right in front of you. Hope transformed. From a prisoner in her own body to a thriving child. Gifted. Brilliant. Free. Learning piano. Speaking Spanish. Laughing. Living. Gloria transformed. From a woman drowning in grief and failure to someone who'd found purpose. Who'd learned that losing Destiny didn't mean her daughter's life was meaningless. Destiny had taught Gloria to see. To notice. To fight for children who couldn't fight for themselves. The sun set over Highland Park. Pink and gold light spilling across the lawn. Hope ran to Gloria. Grabbed her hand. Come play with us. Gloria let herself be pulled into the grass. Into the joy. Into the life she'd almost lost. And somewhere in that laughter, in the sound of children playing and music drifting and love filling spaces that used to hold only silence, Destiny's memory danced. Because love doesn't die. It just finds new ways to save us. Thank you for watching this story to the end. If you enjoyed this story, you will surely love the next. Click on the image or video showing on your screen right now to watch the next one.